Alright, I need to rant about this hilariously entertaining episode, the final episode of Villainess level 99. The power of friendship is here, and it's one of the rare cases you'll find me saying, damn, is that a brilliant stopping point. But I'm honestly in disbelief, but it makes sense because, like, really up to this point, it's kind of been following a game-like logic, and while the dialogue from the side characters feels very, like, generic visual novel, going with the flow, literally everyone, and I mean everyone, did jack all. And to their defense, they did try to say, hey, Amelia, it's not really a team effort. You did a lot of work. Pat yourself on the back. But being the humble queen she is, she says, no, it's a team effort. But even still, we entered this boss fight with 3 out of the 5 captured in some Shadow Ball Pokeball. Buddy pretty much... Edwin just does nothing. And she one-shots the goddamn Demon Lord. Not quite, she takes his helmet off first, but very quickly that black hole, she says, listen, I'm the master of black holes, and even if you summon it, I'm gonna throw you right into it. She clears this whole freaking situation by herself. It was not a team effort. Holy magic light wasn't even required. Darkness beats darkness. And it's like, we did... You want to know why they were so good at fighting all those skeletons and shit at the end? They had all of their energy. Yeah, they maybe lost 10 or so health points out of their 100 because they got slapped around a bit at the start of the fight, but they did nothing. And the fact that... Like, I get the end, like, it's really sweet at the end because she'd rather be with Patrick because they're a couple now, seemingly. I mean, it's very cute. We had the kiss last week. We have the kind of, like, pulling together at the end there. But it's just, like, even if you're humble about it, it's the fact that the way the dialogue was handled with this party, they were so like, yeah, it wasn't a team effort. Amelia, with what we just saw, didn't even need to enter the damn castle. She could have just summoned the black hole, sucked it up, and went on with her day. Fantastic episode. Full live reaction to this or any of these wonderful episodes of Villainess over on my Patreon if you want to see my full and good thoughts. They're over there if you're interested. The interesting thing about this is I think there's like 6 light novels out right now, 5 or 6. I think a 6th was just recently released. So there's actually more story to tell. I think this was just the first novel if I'm not mistaken. And it's one of those situations where it's like, I could easily see why we could continue. I mean, there's still another year left with the school, and then there's what happens after the school, and then what type of plot points could occur? Because right now we're in new uncharted territory, because as we broke the game logic here, like we surpassed where it wanted, despite our girl stabbing Amelia. I mean, after we recovered through this, there's nothing else compelling her, seemingly. So we're in new uncharted territory, and unlike some stuff like with a Baccarina where you have a sequel game, it doesn't seem to be going in that direction. So it would all be new, and that's interesting, but there's something, you know, it's not that, like, I want to see every anime be one and done in 12 episodes, but sometimes you do look at an ending like this and you say, 12 episodes really would be solid. Because it's hard to imagine a better stopping point than what they just did here. Granted, every light novel could end up having a great stopping point, and if so, keep making seasons, it's fine. But I almost feel like if you made a season 2 at this point, there's no way I leave season 2 more satisfied than this. I could be mistaken, and hell, if they want to prove me wrong, go ahead. But this felt like a really good stopping point. This episode didn't really do anything that shocking. The biggest shocker was her getting stabbed, but it's one of those moments that, like, when it happens, I wasn't like, oh my god, I didn't see it. It was more like, oh, that makes sense. Of course that would happen, because, like, as soon as we enter this castle, like, we're pretty much reminded, like, hey, there's a system at play. There's these things that have to happen. My thought was that there has to be a hidden boss after the Demon Lord. But instead, because Amelia didn't rise to that role, despite that Demon Lord doing his best effort to recruit her to the dark side, she autopilotly had to attack her because she still sees her as the hidden boss, the enemy, the end goal sort of a thing. And honestly, it's freaking hilarious that the power of love was enough to snap her out of her hate boner. Which honestly is a good lesson. If you're really pissed off with someone you love and they love you back, take out the frustrations in the bedroom, man. Like, you both will just be so calm and collected afterwards, you won't even remember why you're probably upset. And while it's a much more passive and peaceful way that they went about it, the fact that Edwin just gave her a little love says to me that, goddamn, when she gets wild, just give her that pat on the back, give her a kiss on the forehead, and goddamn, the apocalypse probably won't occur. fantastic. One of the rare cases I'll give The Power of Love and Friendship a W, because just the show was so silly to begin with, and I think they ran with the silliness as a concept pretty well, and it just felt good. It felt like, while it didn't really do anything that unexpected, that's kind of okay given the twists and turns they recently dropped with the fact that the game was controlling her, so it's just like, oh, something big happening with that just is kind of to be expected, it just you weren't sure exactly how that would occur. And by the time I leave this, I'm like, yeah, there's another year left of their school, but I mean, I don't need to see that. There's probably 50 more years left of their lives. I don't need to see all that either. If they are able to make it interesting. I mean, I kind of feel like with where we leave off, if they did do a season 2, it would have to be more slice of life focused, because I'm not sure if there would be a bigger threat for them to deal with. Because even if there was, like, while it's not a my instant death ability where we cut off the final bosses in the middle of a cutscene and they're dead, at the same time, I just totally expect Emilia would just kill or destroy anything in her way, so like, what even is the point? Either way, this is just, I think it's funnier the longer I think of it. The fact that, like, while yes, they did try to give her credit, or to give her most of the credit, like, hey, like, no, like, without you, and she's like, nah, it's fine, it was a team effort. It was not a team effort. They were useless. And the most useful thing they did was stab you. Like, I legitimately enjoyed this show, man. Like, I'm glad I jumped aboard this one I ended up doing. Sure, I joined later than probably I would have liked, knowing how much I liked episode 2 onwards. But, you know, really my biggest issue was episode 1. Was not a fan of that episode, but everything after that really got me rolling. I liked the characterization. I think literally everyone outside of Patrick, that one rich girl who made us her best friend, and Emilia are just useless, but they're fun useless. Everyone, those 3 boys and Alicia, useless, but I loved them. They were so funny. Just really take a second to consider, this man walked in with a guts level greatsword and did jack shit. That's funny to me. This was such a good final episode. It didn't really go out of the box with its logic, but it just knew how to stick the landing. That's all I really want as an anime only watching a show. Stick the landing, so if you never do more, I'm good, and if you do more, make it worth my while. But I don't know, let me know what you thought, whether on the final episode, do you want to see a season 2, or what did you think of the season as a whole? Because I definitely had a very different opinion on the first episode to episodes 2 through 12, so let me know where you stand on this, and yeah, especially if you want a season 2, because I'm really good leaving it here, but I would watch one if they made it. So thoughts down below, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, and of course ring that bell so you get notified when I upload more. And like I mentioned, we have full live reactions over on my Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. So today we got Migs021, Mad Lad, and James Wright. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. Have a good one.